What's up, y'all? This is WatchSheed. This is my channel, Perma. I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming. It's time to make my mark on this world. It's giving me so much opposition. Excuse me, not the world. Not no omnipotent. No, omnipotent. What's the word? Omnipotent. Fuck. No omnipresence, I'll say. There's none of. The word will come back to me. It'll be. Got OCD like that. I won't let it go. I'll just keep thinking out. It'll come back to me, but I can't say it right now. You know, Omni, there's no all-seeing thing about it. It's just, I'm coming, and I'm excited to make my mark and contribute something concrete. Spent a lot of time soaking in the world, so I'm interested to see how I can yet assist the world, or the people of the world. When we say the world, we normally mean the people, because the natural world isn't dictated by us. So there's no reason to say the world as if we have stake in what happens to it. Self-sustaining. It'll be alive a lot longer than our bodies will, Everything that comes to an end won't see the end. Because that won't be the end of anything. What we perceive as the end. That's what people can't wrap their head around. That, yeah, just maybe, we're pawns in this too. We're our vessels, our being, our flesh, our bodies. Even if you don't think of it like that, to think of it as crazy is pretty dismissive, and it just causes a new slew of problems, because a lot of people believe in things. These things just to wrap your head around, just to focus your ideals, to focus your purpose. So without that, you're a pleasure-seeking, lustful creature. But with purpose, you can be a distinguished individual and truly give back to the world that you've taken from. Seems to be the point of it all, but then how much do we actually know? So, it just becomes interesting being involved in this world, but not being of this world. It makes you look at things very differently. We loosely call things like that alien. It's more of a foreign or unknown variable of being, a rarity. You look at yourself, look at where you come from, and you feel out of place in it. It's not really the case, though. It's more of you understanding your place isn't from where you earthly hail from, because that's just your inception into the actual world where you hail from. But beyond that, we are purposeful. It's the reason why you were sent here, you were brought here. If you want to look at it scientifically, why you beat out millions or billions of your brothers in arms, your comrades, your spermatozoid brethren, to be this person. It's the reason why all your DNA, your chromosomes, of course down to your molecular structure, why you proceeded to come out the way you did. It was for a specific purpose. Only down to your blood and your DNA would understand. But when you look outward, it appears foreign, as if you're less of yourself. It's a dangerous game we play when we try to understand all these things and join them lockstep. Certain things aren't meant to be parallel. They're more to look upon one another, not disdain or contempt, but more of a indifference. This is the balance of the world. these notions aren't lost on people who would be perceived as purposeful philosophers, doctors, scientists in their own right. Certain variants of people that understand that knowledge is best perceived, through through tremendous turmoil. It's not me so much thinking of where to go with my speech, but thinking what is the most important in this given time, because each thing is important, especially if it is or has been said time and time again. These things are important. It just means we need to look at it at a more aerial view. Not so much accept the wrongs we've done, but accept the good that needs to be done. We get so lost in what we get out of it. You look at certain secular texts, sacred texts, it's, you'll get your peace. Just do your job. And I listen to God and I talk to God, and, metaphorically, and even if I do otherwise, have other ways of speaking to Him, it'd be crazy, you wouldn't believe it, so it doesn't matter. But just understand, He would never want to stifle, the growth of people. That's not the point of any of it. I don't mean to get so, so radical with my speech, but it doesn't take long to put things into perspective when your life is on the line. When your life is comfortable, you only see the things that you want. But when your life is compromised, you only see the things that you need. This is the whole plot of this world entirely, end of itself, in the eyes of us humans. It's not about right or wrong. The stage has been set, in a matter of speaking. We know right and we know what's wrong. We all start off in a realm of sin, but in a way of right. Whether we choose to abide by either or is case by case. There is nobody pulling anybody's strings. Each decision is made on anybody's own volition. People can be lured, but can never be force-fed to drink. And even though we see these things as a reality, you must understand, nobody is living your life. Nobody is controlling you, even if they are in some way. Their job is to force you to make a decision. Their sole responsibility, what God has them in place for you right now, whether you believe Him or not. Because these people will never come up in your dream. Think about it this way. The world is reality. Your dreams are just that. In your dreams, you wish to make it all encompassing just for your sake. You couldn't possibly take into account anything else. Only what you perceive and what you know to be the truth. How your senses responded to the stimuli. That's all you would be able to recollect. But the reality is something you can't account for. The uncertainty, the doubt of the world. It's not shame or guilt. It's the hypocrisy that comes from the fear. They may work in lockstep if I'm not mistaken. Fear what you don't know is only what you cannot control. And other people exclaim the knowledge for themselves and exclaim that They found the path themselves, but the path has already been written thousands and thousands of centuries, time and time again. The story hasn't changed. That's why Solomon's most simplest words stand true no matter where you go. There's nothing new under the sun. So regardless of what anything seems original, it was never meant to be original to us. It was just meant to be a means to an end. I say all these things just based off of the stuff I've been able to see and have no choice but to accept and acknowledge. Not that I was naive to these things, but more concerned, curious, intrigued that people would understand the wrong of what they do and beg that they want to stop, but rationalize doing the wrong. No matter what. It's not so black and white, but certain things need to be. Battles need to be fought. Sides need to be chosen. Who wins? The battles we fight aren't big enough to determine a true winner. The battle only has casualties. Doesn't matter who won. We're all down here together. All willing to live and fight by the same ideals. That we know nothing, but we must protect what we know. Or what we deem to be the truth. So it begs to say that only something outside of what we understand and what gives us our own mental capabilities would have to intervene. Now people think more on the line of aliens now. I've already explained my religious and traditional followings best way I can, so I just try to be as practical as I can. So, if a matter of speaking, aliens do exist outside of this plane, this planet we live on. You know, there's still nothing, there's still the void, the nothingness surrounding our planet. You know, however it works outside of the atmosphere. You know, there's no way to know. But when it comes to the aliens thing, I'll just say, and this may sound insane, but all of it sounds insane to me, so I try to make certain sense out of things that make sense out of what's being said. Not that people are just crazy or the government's out to get it, you know, it has to be some middle that everybody's missing. Because I do believe each person has a grain of the truth. It's just what you put it together and how you put it together. A puzzle of sorts, obviously. So, I'll just say, if aliens do exist, like the way we see splicing done with these other people who more or less may have died if it wasn't for modern technology, even people with lesser ailments, of course. These things obviously had to play out, but just the way I see if aliens do exist outside of their defiant would be a term that would be more fitting for them. Because if they are aliens, I mean, I would believe they would have been human at certain points. And this splicing has been a reality, just like the movie, not The Martian with fucking, what is it, Matt Damon, but that other movie, I forgot the guy's name, but he might have played in Avatar, if I'm not mistaken, with the Blue Giants. That's not Sam Elliott, Sam something. But they were splicing their DNA with whatever they was trying to make Martians. It might have been called Martian. They were trying to make Martians, people who can survive on Mars, and the only practical application to do that would be to splice their DNA with portions of the DNA from the planet, or maybe try to breed it in between with people, and then just to adapt to those circumstances on that planet. aliens. They would have to essentially breed Martians, create them themselves, and it would be like some Ultron situation where you create something that has its own consciousness. And I'm like, oh, I want to live too. If y'all live like you created something with feelings, you created a robot with feelings. You know, some type of fucking carbon monoxide breathing monster. It's insanity, but you know, or hydrogen, like the hydrogen levels were, it was like swapped from Earth, so it was difficult to breathe for people, obviously. Like they say it is an own planet, so you know, you don't know. But yeah, I'm like, if that's the case, then if anything, these aliens, if they do exist, which I don't know, it just seems like militaries, you know, just the same way that Star Trek, they say Star Trek didn't create the phone, cell phones, but it kind of helped patent the idea for cell phones. So I'm like, if that's the case, then why wouldn't these UFOs or whatever the case may be, you know, they talk about it briefly in certain shows or movies, maybe to discredit it at people because they may not believe people are ready for whatever they found, and they probably can't explain it themselves. That tends to be the point. Like everybody thinks they're protecting people by keeping secrets. That's why Howard Shai says, "Be truthful and do what you love." So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, it's interesting. A lot of people are lying to protect somebody, but I'm like, and in the end, people are like, you shouldn't. I'm showing you that I can protect myself. So to be honest to the other, and it's like, okay, if that's the case, then if everybody was honest, maybe certain ideas would be shot down, certain things wouldn't be. It's just a constant effort just to be honest and overcome. You know, it's just things I think about. So I'm just like, if that's the case, then these things are just people who, you know, maybe over decades been stationed outside the known atmosphere and just hovering, orbiting, and mental change, DNA structures change, bone, you know, everything, tissue, everything's changed, organs change, so they wouldn't be human. They would have started off as human, but in the end, wouldn't be human. Now, me just thinking about this, it could serve that everybody wouldn't be able to, you know, mix with that type of blood transfusion, splicing and putting organs from different animals in you so you can adapt to whatever. 'Cause that's mad wild. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I heard about them cloning the first child maybe 2 years ago. So imagine how long the motherfucking clone's been somewhere getting tested. A reason to say that they don't happen. It's just interesting. Like, why talk about it? After 70 years in Philadelphia, a cheesesteak shop is closing. The stores are closed. Everything's going online. The titles be so misleading. But yeah, you know, yeah, I just wanted to drop that in there just to focus myself and my endeavors, and if anything, reach somebody. Kendrick said it best. I know somebody's listening. Best life progression and know my conditions is based off experience. Karma for karma, my struggles, my karma is sensitive. Watching my cousin struggle with addiction to watching her firstborn make $1 million and birth with him off the grid to start the healing. Wait, off the grid for forgiveness. I'm sacrificing myself to start the healing. Shit on my mind and it's heavy. Tell you in pieces cause it's way too heavy. My diamonds, the choke it is heavy. More life to give on the man, are you ready? I'm like, people hate that. Y'all hate it to Pepper Butterfly too. I don't really get like that. It's experimental music. That's why I appreciate Yeezus from Kanye. That's why I appreciate the I'm Bipolar. He called it Ye, but at first he didn't have a name for the shit. I like Kendrick's Untitled, Unmastered. Not all the songs, but like Stumpers on that. And you could tell he was going a rock route. I thought this album was going to be straight rock, but I know that probably wouldn't have translated, and especially if he wasn't engulfed in rock and blues for the last 5 years. He could have probably been working on this album for about 7 or 8 years. But I like that I'm jumping all over the place. Let me just stay focused. But yeah, forgive me for that. But yeah, I'm just thinking, just keeping this channel going. And I do apologize that some of these thoughts and notions may be my own. Things that other people may not be able to wrap their head around or maybe not want to. And I understand that too. But you should know that I've given other talented people and content creators about 6 or 7 years to show something original. These ideas suck. So in the next couple of years, and I don't work for nobody. I'm not with none of the ops or the higher ups. This is a true child of Yahushua, a true believer. My peace is here. But yeah, I just want everybody to know. I do hail from Judah. I was brought up around the church and God all my life, but these last 6 years, I found it myself. I'll be back. I'm gonna show y'all this bullshit they just gave me. I keep my anger to myself. I try to. I know I look ugly. Check me out. Clean. I'm just not feeling it today. But yeah, I wanted y'all to see this. See this bullshit they gave me. Check this out. Look at that. Supposed to be breadsticks. Breadsticks, mind you. Look like a goddamn. What you know? It's all fucking good, man. I know the pizza gonna be cool. I know it's gonna be fucked up though, but I'm still gonna eat it because I don't complain. But I'm about to watch some TV, so I'll be back.